And welcome back to the Z-List Celebrities. I've been in this setup before, but I've never been with somebody in this setup. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I am Jaylan. I am an esthetician. I have many hats. I'm 30, which is wild. I hate saying that. Ew. I've never said it out loud actually until now.
You've never said it out loud?
No. It was a month ago.
You're right. It was in my backyard.
It was We never brought it up.
We just celebrated her 30th birthday. Do we talk about 30 or do we just it's another birthday?
It's
it doesn't
fine.
Make it feel big.
No, it's not.
I feel like some people, they do the whole funeral to my 20s and that whole theme.
That was a big thing. I had a lot of people that turned 30 last year, in my life, and they all dressed in black, literally a funeral to my 20s. And I'm like, it's a little much for me.
I think we should just really fight power and we should do a funeral for our 30s, 40. Because nobody does that.
Nobody does that.
Fight the grain, a little bit. I don't want to do the same thing as everybody else for my 20s, but
I thought it was cute the first time I heard it, but then 6 people did it after that. And I was like,
okay. After that, it's just
I'm over
it's kind of over.
I'm done.
I know a girl, though, it was years ago. It was the first time I had seen it. She actually had a funeral. She had a party in her backyard, and she made everybody, give eulogies, and, she had a funeral. And I thought that was way fucking funnier than any of these other ones.
Yes. Yeah, because all the other ones are, bar hopping in black outfits.
At 50, I'm going to throw a real funeral for myself.
Okay.
And I want everybody to eulogize.
Eulogize.
Is that a word?
I don't know. Eulogize.
Anyway,
I like that.
This doesn't feel very health and wellness-y right now.
Nope.
But we are in this month all about health and wellness. Last week, we talked with the men of Men's Health Unscripted. Very thought-provoking episode, but we are switching gears back to the ladies this week. And we're going to get into it. Jaylan actually has had a very intriguing, different kind of wellness journey that led her to a lot of things. I'm curious because I don't even know the answer. Was esthetician pre your journey or post your journey? Intermixed?
Kind of both. So I kind of subconsciously knew that I had breast cancer, but I hadn't been checked out yet when I was in aesthetic school.
Okay.
One of my friends from school she's a nurse.
Okay.
And I mentioned to her, we were in the treatment room together and I was like, hey, what do you think of this? And I show her my lump and all this. And she's just like, yeah, I'm going to need you to go to the doctor. And I was like, yeah, but what do you think? She goes, I don't know. I have no idea. She's like, you need to go to a doctor. And I'm like, okay. So I kind of knew at that point, even before that, but then that was fall. The following wintry spring was when I actually got my diagnosis. So I got diagnosed, but I was already working at a spa. So it was kind of all jumbled together.
So it wasn't
the same.
Product of
your no.
Okay. Good to know. See, I did not know that answer.
No, it was all one jumbled mess. Yeah.
So let's backtrack because you already dropped the C word.
I did.
I can't believe you did that already. No.
Jump the gun.
Let's get into it a little bit about your story and your journey with breast cancer. I know that's funny. It's funny because it was one of the first things you and I talked about and kind of bonded on, which is so random.
So weird.
But tell us a little bit about your journey on that.
Okay, so 2021.
Okay.
I don't remember. Sometime around COVID. So maybe late 2020 was when I was in school. So 2021 was when I got diagnosed, but I felt my lump when I was 23.
Okay.
For the first time. And I went to my doctor and she was just like, it's fine. It's fatty tissue. It's your time of the month. Basically go away. And I was like,
okay.
Yes, ma'am. You're my doctor. I'm going to believe you. 23. You don't know. I didn't know anything at least. I just was like, all right, go ahead. See you in a year. So fast forward, a lot of things kind of were not going well. I just moved to Florida, with a terrible man. And
we love a terrible man.
A terrible man. And that could give you a whole episode on that at some point.
I gotta bring back the breakups and dating episodes because people love those. So we'll chat about that.
Yeah, we'll circle back to that topic. But I think a lot of my circumstances, being with him, were cause for the lump to grow. So fast forward, he's out of the picture. I got my diagnosis, and I remember specifically I was in the doctor's office when she made me come into the doctor's office, and I already subconsciously knew because you just know when something's not right with your body. She made me go all the way out to her doctor's office, and she's sitting me down talking to me, and she's like, so the tumor, the biopsy, it came back positive. You do have breast cancer. And I just remember looking at her, and I had a really bad sty on my eye. And I remember looking at her just like, okay. And she was like, did you hear me? And I said, yes, I heard you. Can you prescribe something for my sty on my eye? And she just looks at me like, this girl's out of her mind. And I was like,
Trauma. We process trauma differently.
Okay. Just looking at her, and she goes, yes, I can, but did you hear me? And I said, yeah, I heard you, but I can't fix that right now, but I think you can give me something to fix this within the next, 48 hours. So, and she was like, okay. So, got stuff for my sty, and she sent me on my way to find an oncologist. And
so what's the timeline between 23 and when she diagnosed you?
I was 27.
So 4 years passed between you already having a lump and then actual diagnosis.
Yeah.
I love the healthcare system.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember bringing it up one other time when I saw her, probably around 24. And she was like, well, it hasn't changed. And whatever I should know more about this, but the feeling of it when she would push on the lump was not consistent with what cancer feels like.
Okay.
So she, again, was just like, it's fine. And it was kind of in my chest wall cavity of where your breast tissue starts almost. So I think to her, I don't know if it was laziness or just small town healthcare though, because I
think that's a big piece of it. I think it's uneducated medical care when it comes to anybody under the age of 40 with breast cancer. People just don't expect it. I'm a huge advocate for, I think it's stupid that the age is 35 for mammograms.
Yeah, recently. Within maybe a few years.
It still should be lower. They lowered it and they thought they were doing all of the women a favor. And I was like, hold on. Jaylan was 23. I was 18. Let's just let's talk about that. I think that that's absolutely insane that our healthcare system thinks that that's the way to do it.
It's cancer has an age, and it's just it doesn't, clearly. There's so many kids with cancer.
Yeah.
So why?
I think that
what's that in between? Yeah, what's that in between?
I don't know, because for me, if anything, I feel that's when disease and illness, it's taking easily when you're changing, your body's changing and your hormones are changing. Wouldn't that be your most susceptible time for things like that?
You would think.
I would think. I don't know. We're not scientists. We clearly don't know anything.
We clearly.
But yeah, so that's crazy. So 4 years in between, that's just so wild to me because I just had such a different experience. And I've actually never talked about it on the podcast, but
love this.
I know. So this is the first, but most people on my social media know because I'm pretty vocal during October and things like that for breast cancer awareness.
Right.
But for me, it was more so when I was a senior in high school, my mom got breast cancer. Very fortunate. All she needed was radiation, but it was something that they sat us down. They told us. It stressed me out a lot. That same year, my grandfather was diagnosed with, I believe it was prostate. He passed from it, and I can't remember if he was prostate or not. I was so young and so much was going on.
Honestly, pause on that because I feel prostate cancer, when people get that diagnosis, it's downhill immediately from there.
It's pretty quick, and I think he kept it from us for a really long time.
Well, but why is it when they get the official diagnosis, it goes downhill? Because people they'll be living with it and have no idea. Mm-hmm. But then it's they verbalize it.
Because it's usually men. Here's my theory. First off, I think it goes so undiagnosed for so long because men refuse to check their buttholes.
Okay.
They refuse.
Valid.
Second, I think that men live in a blissful ignorance state. And I think that sometimes that keeps you healthy.
It does.
It's the same way. Have you ever been around a man where it's you're sick, but he can't tell you're sick. You're sick, but you haven't verbalized it because you're trying to tough it through because as women, we do our colds really easily.
Yes.
But the minute you tell your man you're sick,
he's sick.
He's sick.
He's sick.
He's sick.
It just happened with Rita and I literally over Christmas.
And you're you're not sick.
Literally, the next morning he woke up and goes, oh, I'm so stuffy. I'm
if I had
perfectly fine. Okay.
So that's kind of my theory is until you tell them they're sick, then they get in their heads and then they make themselves sicker. I think positive mindset, especially with cancer, is everything.
I will agree with that because I think had I not had, I mean, chemo didn't really make me sick, except for like the last 2. And then that was really it though. Like I never had that like stereotypical, I don't think I had a stereotypical chemotherapy experience.
That's a good thing.
It's a super good thing.
It's a really
I'm not
good thing.
sad I missed out, but I just am like, I think mentally I just was like, I have to keep going. Because if I don't, then chemo like does more harm than good, and then I'm done.
Yeah. It's all mentality and perspective.
So I think that's huge.
Well, so that kind of plays into my story then really well on the like mentality thing. And it's funny, but like, so my mom had it, then my grandfather was sick, and then a year later, so my mom had her radiation, she was good. She gets her checkup, she's fine, like not a big deal. But my freshman year of college, it was my second semester, I believe, or right before my second semester, I believe. And I only know because there's a pinpoint that is irrelevant, but like so important to me. It's about Italy. I'll get there. So I am taking a shower. And I honestly, if my mom had not had breast cancer, I probably would not have even noticed and I never would have known. And who knows, maybe I would have been in a situation like you where I let it go for a really long time.
Right.
But I was in the shower and I'll never forget like the heart dropping moment. I was just like, washing my boobs like we all do. And I felt a lump and I was like, I knew exactly. I was like, that's a problem. I just instantly knew. It was like actually like one of those movie like jaw dropping moments where like I dropped the soap. I was like, I know that something's wrong. But I was in college and I had this mentality that if I told my mom I was going to give her cancer again, I was like, I can't stress her out. I cannot stress her out. So I decided it was a good idea to just try and do it by myself with my parents' credit card because, like I am financially not independent.
So I'm not going to tell them about it, but I'm going to use their money to fix it.
I just thought like maybe like doctor's offices, they wouldn't say anything or something like that. I don't know what I thought, but I went to like 2 appointments before I told my parents. Of course, my mom freaked out, came to Arizona, started doing things with me. I had a couple college girlfriends. Shout out to Abby. Abby would sit in the waiting room and like hang out with me. We're not even like that close anymore, but like I will always remember that. Like they came with me for like all my checkups and things like that. Super cute. But then my mom like kind of got involved. Whatever. For me, complete opposite situation of her. I only needed surgery and then we were done and it was good.
Okay.
And honestly, I feel like even though I tell doctors my history, they still don't check me as well as they probably should nowadays. Like you'd think having like that prehistory with my mom and myself, they would give me mammograms or check me. They don't. And I write it on every sheet when I start with a new doctor. Nobody says anything to me.
No, they don't even question it.
No.
Like bring it up. Like, oh, so what happened or what led or what? Nothing.
No, they don't. And you would think now they would doubly since I had the cervical cancer 2 years ago. They don't give a shit. I was like, I literally am the cancer queen and you're not even paying attention. But here's the thing. I'm the cancer queen, but to like the lowest extent. Like, it's like, here's your cancer, but don't worry, you're going to be fine in like a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
and it's like just, it's minor cancer. I'm never like in dire need, but it's just like, it's like a little sample. They're like, this could be you. It's ridiculous.
It's like you have a flight of cancers.
Like, here's your skin cancer, here's your cervical cancer, here's your breast cancer. Which one am I going to get next? Who knows? Kyle's going to kill me for saying that. He's the obvious. He's like, don't jinx yourself. But anyways, so I had the breast cancer one. We handled that. But I remember my mom, I was so irate because my mom, we were going to Italy for spring break that year. And she wanted to cancel Italy. And I was like, no, you can't. I was like, that's why I didn't tell you because I thought you were going to cancel Italy. And that was my mindset as an 18-year-old. I was like, God forbid we don't get to go to Italy.
I mean, at 18, though, like, yeah, God forbid you don't get to go to Italy.
I'm like, no, I can handle this. It's fine. So I had that surgery. We never had a problem again, which was great. And then it was, I think it was 2 years. Was it? It wasn't this summer, so it would have been the last summer. That's when I found my cervical cancer. And I just like, for me, that experience.
How do you find cervical cancer?
I had enough irregular pap smears. And actually what happened was, and this is kind of funny how yours sat forever and like mine kind of sat for too long. I had an irregular pap smear right before COVID. Okay. And normally when that happens, they ask you to come in within 6 months to check again.
Right.
Just to check. With COVID hitting, they never followed up with me about another appointment or said anything. And I didn't know that it was irregular. Like they fully owned that too at the doctor's office. They're like, yeah, we didn't reach back out because like COVID got crazy and it must have just been missed by our like front desk attendant or whatever they were supposed to call you. So no one had told me. And then I go back 2021. They're like, oh yeah, like we need to give you another pap smear, and that's when they found it.
Oh,
love that. So I had a couple different procedures. And I feel like I want to say it's like a lapse procedure. Now I'm gonna fuck it up. Somebody's gonna come for me. Somebody always comes for me in like comment sections when I mess
especially
up these.
I was gonna say, especially when it's like health related. Like,
Oh, yeah.
God forbid
I get it wrong. You know, I just had it happen to me, but like so I had some freezings, which is the worst because what they do is they go up into your like uterine lining, I think it is, or your cervix, and they freeze it with, you know, those little things that they freeze warts with.
Yeah,
it's the same fucking machine.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
What?
And you want to know like how bad? Have you had a wart frozen off?
No.
It hurts like a bitch.
I've heard it's terrible.
Now put it up in your hole up there.
No.
Oh yeah, so they do that.
Oh my god.
And then they like wait a little while, and then they do it again. So like you have to sit there after for a minute, and then they do it again. And then they basically tell you for like a couple weeks you're just gonna like shed things out of your vagina. So like I was wearing like diapers, what felt like diapers for weeks.
That sounds terrible.
So that one wasn't fun. I did that twice, and then the third one was, I want to say it's like a lap or something procedure, and I'm gonna mess that up. But that's where they like do like all this weird like scraping stuff.
Yeah.
And that's where they say it's scary because like if it's done poorly or wrong, you can get scar tissue, and if you get scar tissue, you have to have C-section babies. You can't have vaginal births. So we'll see how that played out for me. I don't know. We'll know when that day comes, which is far. But
so did that affect like your chances of ever having kids?
They say that procedure can, but they're better at it now than they used to be, and it's a less of a problem.
Okay.
But it's more so, if anything, it's just giving birth naturally. It's not necessarily like actually giving birth. I have to believe the freezing can mess up some shit too, right?
It has to, right?
They
like
say
all that.
There's no risk, but like I don't fully believe that. But here's the worst part.
Like, what if it accidentally like kills the eggs or something?
Well, maybe that's not where the eggs. Well, the eggs are in your ovaries, and it's not in your ovaries.
True.
We're learning the anatomy right now as we speak. I don't know. They said I was going to be fine, and it wasn't that big of a deal. I don't believe anyone these days.
No.
So I had that, and the wildest part, and this is going to blow your mind, and I think I might have shown you the picture before, and if I haven't, I will show you later because it's wild, and I feel like you'll appreciate it.
I will appreciate it, but I don't think I've seen it.
There's a reason that that I don't go to that doctor anymore, or OBGYN, because later on, so, you know, things are leaking out of me. It's the thing. Like, I'm healing. My body's healing.
Yeah.
Well, one day, I'm like, there is something up, like, in my vagina opening. And I was like, I can feel it. There's something right there. And Kyle was like, just reach down and grab it. I grabbed it out. They left surgical tissue up.
Oh, you did tell me this.
Yeah. They left surgical tissue up there. Kyle and I looked at each other. His mouth just dropped. He was like, I don't know what to do or say. I was like, is this tissue paper? And he was like, yeah, this is tissue paper. It's like one of those coffee tissue paper.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah.
Like a coffee filter?
Yeah, kind of looks like that. Wild. That came out of me. It just worked its way down. So they must have like left it up there somehow. I don't know. I don't know what happened, but it's the
Did you tell
picture.
them that they did that?
I called and I was like, I found this. I don't know what it is. And they're like, oh, we don't know either. And then that was just the end of the conversation.
Why? Okay, I feel like
doctors are wild.
I feel like you and I could be millionaires because of how wrong things were done for us.
Oh, well, what about the fact that they were cutting skin cancer out of my body, and then I went to my doctor in Colorado and she's like, this wasn't skin cancer?
Yes!
I won't go to, I don't even mind dropping the name, but Academy Alliance Dermatology in Tampa, do not go there.
Yikes.
They also were having children, I say children, they're med students, cut into my back though, and that's why I have gaping holes.
Tell me this.
Yeah, my mom's actually, my mom has offered to like just out of the goodness of her heart, like get me like laser treatments and like refix my scars. I haven't done it because like it feels superficial to do, but I mean, I have like 4 gaping holes in my back, and then I have a really bad one under my boob that makes it look like I have boob implants. But it's only on the one boob.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody thinks that that's my my removal for my breast tumor, but my breast tumor's on the nipple and you can't even see it.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Like, that's how good my boob surgeon was. But yet, the skin cancer one, here, the camera can't see. Look under there.
Oh, yeah.
That's from skin cancer. And then that one is from the breast cancer.
Oh, yeah, you would never know.
You would never know. Just in case that you did see that, I'll just put a sticker over that on YouTube.
It's fine. You would never know.
You would never know. But, like,
yeah. I would have thought the same thing. Because I have 2 right across on the bottoms.
You have them on the bottoms. Mm-hmm. Interesting. No, my surgeon, she was able to go through my nipple.
No, well, because they took everything out.
Oh, gotcha. That makes more sense.
So that's why I don't have nipples.
Yes. We have talked about this.
Well, that's why I don't have nipples, yes. So if I flash anyone, it's not illegal, right?
Is that how that works?
I don't know. That's what I say.
That's fair. Have you ever considered, like, getting tattoo nipples, or is that just not something you're interested in?
I just don't give a shit enough.
That's fair.
I just am like, who cares? They're not there. The tattoos are not going to be popping out like a nipple.
Well, and it's like, at this point, nipples are really only to serve, like, feed children. So
exactly.
It's like, what's the point?
Exactly. They could have removed my nipples and then put them back.
But they wouldn't have worked.
But, well, they might have, they said. I don't know. It's really, I still don't get, you'd think I didn't go through this. I still don't get it. Because I think on the non-cancer one it would have.
Okay.
But maybe not this. I don't know. I don't know.
Not worth it.
It was too much. And, like, if you put your nipples back on, there was like a 0.0001 chance of the cancer coming back because it's still your nipple. And I was like, fuck that. Nope.
No, not doing that again.
Done.
Over a nipple.
No, I don't need my nipples. I'm good.
We don't need nipples. Have you seen that Kevin Hart comedy show where he's like, she ain't got no nipples?
I got kicked out of the Kevin Hart show once.
Wait, why?
Because I was turning my phone off and the security guard didn't believe me. And I was like, but look, now it's off. And he said, I don't care. Get out. Swear to God.
That's not fair.
The show hadn't started.
So then you haven't seen the She Ain't Got No Nipples. I'll send it to you. It's my favorite Kevin Hart sketch. He's like, it's when he's talking to his teacher because his mom told him to go say something to a teacher. And he's like, my mom told me to tell you. And then it ends with him like saying that she ain't got no nipples.
The teacher or the mom?
The teacher. You gotta watch it. You just gotta watch it.
Yeah, we are.
It's a great one. But yeah, no. So that was like kind of my experience with that. As far as my breast tumor, it was so wild because, and I feel like I don't know what yours was like, but I could move mine like with my fingers, like I could push it around. It was like a little cool party trick. I'd be like, look, I can move it around. And it felt like a marble, but when she took it out, it was so big. Like, it felt like it would have been a marble like this, and it was, like, this big.
Isn't it wild how that happens?
Like, I didn't get it. I was like, how was I moving that big of a lump around my boob? I've got big boobs, but, like, I was just like...
I guess it was just, like, floating through your tissue. Like,
it's just wild.
Yeah, that's crazy.
No, I literally, I guess I, like, high off my ass off of the pain meds, like, asked my surgeon to send me or I asked if I could keep my tumor, because, you know, God forbid I have any normalcy in my life. And she said she legally couldn't give it to me. And I was really sad, and I guess I started crying. So she texted me a picture. My surgeon texted me a picture of my tumor.
Do you know, surgeons like that made my life so much better. Because when I had my blood clot removed, they took pictures. I have it on my phone. I have a picture of my blood clot because they were like, it's like the biggest like blood clot we've seen in so long. How did it go on? Because it was missed. And so it was during when I was going through chemo and everything. So we were like, well, what do you mean it's big? It's a blood clot. How big can a blood clot be? Like your veins they're so small. You know what I mean? Sucker was huge. It was so long.
You have a picture of it?
I do. I don't.
You're gonna have to show me.
I'll show you.
I don't
She's
think I've
texted
shown
it to my mom.
Oh,
see? Yeah.
See, and I don't think I've shown you my tumor picture either. But that fucker was big.
Yeah.
I was like, that doesn't even make sense.
No.
It doesn't make sense how that lived in there.
But it's the same thing like babies. Like babies live in there, and they're so big when they come out.
That's true. Well, and it's wild too because I didn't feel like I lost volume in it either. Like my boob didn't.
So you didn't feel like
smaller.
you had like a hole in there or anything? No. Like you were missing anything?
No, tissue just filled it right back in.
Like new tissue?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it expanded. Maybe it made like some tissue less tight.
We should have asked more questions, probably.
I was 18.
Well, okay. I don't have that excuse.
I was literally a child. But then again, I didn't ask any questions about the cervical thing.
Okay, good.
And I clearly didn't ask anything about the skin, or it wouldn't have been cut.
No, it wouldn't have been cut into that many times in that dramatically.
So, yeah. Cancer Queen! Breastie Besties!
Can we get shirts?
Yes, we can. I think that's actually a perfect segue. We now have a clothing company together.
Yes, we do.
Should we make those shirts for... Maybe that's our breast cancer awareness month. Yeah. And we do like proceed donations.
Yes.
Now you're on our business podcast. Who cares about health?
We are all over the place.
But yes, I guess we should talk about Complx, huh?
Yeah. let's do it.
It's all health and wellness kind of focused.
It is.
For the most part.
It's like conducive to a healthy lifestyle, I feel like.
Yes. Healthy, but also luxurious. Like, you don't have to, like, be granola or an almond mom to be. Somebody told me the other day they think I'm going to be an almond mom.
You're allergic to almonds.
I literally said the same thing. I was like, but I'm allergic to almonds. They didn't think I was funny. They didn't.
I think it's hilarious.
But, yeah, somebody did call me an almond mom the other day. I was like, first of all, motherhood is so far off from me right now. Second, okay, so I'm crunchy apparently, which I don't see, but
I don't think you're crunchy at all.
Apparently I give homeschool.
Maybe a little.
I give homeschool apparently. That's what I'm giving off apparently to others. Like, I don't see it, but
I see it.
So like luxury, being able to like focus on health and wellness with luxury.
Yes.
But also still like affordable and things like that. So we've kind of focused a lot on athletic gear and like comfortable clothing. I know right now all we have up there right now is our athletic wear, but we do have a couple of like comfy, cozy jumpsuits that we just haven't listed yet. So those will be up soon.
They're coming.
Our bestseller is the Gratitude Journal.
Easily. Hands down.
It's everybody's favorite. And being that it's January, New Year's start, I highly recommend it. I mean, you could start halfway through the year, but like.
Yeah, because it's open. It's like open dates. So It's not like January
start today.
1st.
Yeah.
And then you miss days and you're like, I got to throw the whole thing away. Like, you can just date it as you go.
Yep.
Which is probably my favorite feature. I love journals like that.
I love journals in general, but I'm a big journal person. Like, everybody that was in late December, early January right now, who's been vision boarding and stuff, that's great. But for me, those vision boards, you make them and then they sit in a corner or you throw them away. They don't last the year. And how are you supposed to like manifest that into existence if it's not constantly around you?
Fair.
So like, I think a journal is a good alternative.
Yeah.
You know, like if you're going to vision board, not that this has anything to do with Complx, but I feel like at that point, like make a Pinterest board or something that you're going to look at on your phone all day. I have a girlfriend that she makes a vision board screensaver.
Yes.
And I was thinking about doing that tonight, just because it's an extra reminder, but journaling still will always be my go-to.
I like doing like both the journaling and the vision boards because I put it literally on my wall.
See, and if you do that, that's great.
Which is not everyone's cup of tea because usually it's like, why are you putting post-it board on your wall?
Exactly.
But it's over my desk, so it kind of like makes sense. But I love my
lemon water. Hey, these are actually one of our items. If we get real close, you might be able to see our cute little wavy cups. So we have the journal. We have a cute little pocket purse notebook, which we absolutely love. But it does come in 2 different sizes. We just actually haven't gotten with manufacturer to do like a larger size.
No,
but we like our little purse one because it's like good to just like for on the go for like quick little notes or grocery lists.
Yes. I'm someone that if I'm in the car or like out like by myself for a full day, I get the best ideas.
Mm-hmm.
So having it like in my purse, just ready to like grab and go and just like jot it down real quick is the easiest thing.
And my New Year's resolution was to be less on my phone when not working.
Yeah.
And I'm a heavy notes user in my phone. So this year, like I'm hoping that notebook kind of translates to me like not writing in my notes on my phone.
Yeah.
So I feel like that'll help a lot. And then obviously we've got the little glasses. We've got a different kind of glass on there as well. But I use these. I mean, she's got her coffee. I've got lemon water. Yes. I do tea in them. They're super cute. And then we've got our cloud mug, which is my favorite.
So good.
So cute. But then like accessories, socks, clips, lots of hair clips. And we're going to be adding throughout the year, but we're excited about that. Obviously, as all like new businesses take, it's going to like start slow, but we're kind of hoping that picks up here soon. But the whole vision behind the name was to, as much as it's complex, I feel like making life uncomplicated.
Yes.
Like just bringing it back to like the basics.
Just simple.
So yeah, I mean, it's a lot of neutrals, not a lot of busy patterns.
No. Because I feel like busy patterns are fun and like bright colors are fun, but I think like at least for my mind, like calm, serene, neutral colors just make me think so much clearer.
It feels clean.
Yes.
Like it feels really clean and just healthy.
Yeah.
It feels healthy.
It's clean and healthy, they're the same. They're like interchangeable in my brain.
And I would love to be able to like have that continue and navigate towards things like if we wanted to do something for October for breast cancer awareness, like being able to donate and stuff like that would be
in the photos.
I'm not sure. I feel like something paused and then.
I'm like, what was that? Why was there?
You might have had a break in this episode, and if it did break, basically all we said was that like you should definitely check out Complx.
Basically.
I'm not sure what happened. You've never done that to me before, but basically Complx Co, COMPLX CO, Complx Co. So yeah, that's kind of what the brand is all about. But let's pivot because you also have another completely different business. Talk about your esthetician stuff.
Oh boy, I love my esthetician stuff.
Yeah.
I love my stuff. But I will say, I love that I don't do it full time.
Okay.
I love that I don't do it full time because I get so much joy out of it that I think if that was my sole income.
Like if you had to rely on it to
yes. I think I wouldn't enjoy it as much.
It's a job.
Because then I wouldn't be able to, I mean, you've seen me. Mm-hmm. I take my time. It's not like you're in at 2 p.m. At 2:05 I walk in, and then at 2:55 I'm like, okay, get out.
Yeah.
I take my time. It could be an hour facial. It could be an hour and 20-minute facial. It just depends on what your skin needs. So I love to be able to tailor, even if you're getting a classic facial, I still like to tailor it to what you need as much as I can without being like, oh, get this add-on and this add-on and this add-on. Because that's just like not, I believe in like having good quality relationships with my clients. And I think that's why it's taken me longer to grow as a business than a lot of other spas and solo estheticians, because I think, and not to knock other estheticians, but I think a lot of them are very money hungry because they're relying on it as their sole income.
Which is like totally
to
be expected. Yeah, and understood.
Like you can grow your business however you choose. It's your business. That's the glory of having your own business. But the way I want to do it is just not, I don't think it's conventional. It's just not.
Well, and if you continue to be able to treat it like a jobby instead of like your full-time income, you'll be able to have that. But I definitely see where you're saying where some people probably just don't really have the luxury to not hustle it, or like, it's not, in the end, obviously repeat customers and like people coming back is always going to be guaranteed business, which is great. But I do see how there's maybe more of a hustle to, get people in and out.
To get people in the door.
There's a cat on the roof over there staring into my soul. Oh, he now stopped to lick. But
he's precious.
We're just like peering into the backyard, and
you should adopt
that little boy. I should adopt. No, it probably belongs to my neighbor.
Blue,
and B, if it doesn't, it belongs to the streets.
And Blue would eat it.
Blue doesn't like cats, personally. But then again, like, she gets so close to catching them every time, and then she doesn't. I think she doesn't actually.
It's a game.
Yeah, but sometimes it's a violent game. She gets real close.
Well, that's fine.
So what is your favorite part about skin? That's a weird thing to say, but...
that everyone's is different.
Okay.
Even if I have a room full of oily clients, they're still different.
Interesting.
They're still different.
Interesting. Okay. So...
I could have a room full of oily. I could have a room full of 80-year-old women. All of their skin is going to be different.
So it's like kind of a challenge.
Yes. Every single client is new. I could have people coming in back-to-back 4 dermaplaning facials, but they're all going to be different. Yes, I'm still dermaplaning on all of them, but they're all going to be different.
Gotcha. Okay. And what's your favorite, like, technique to use?
Like service?
Yeah.
Probably dermaplaning.
Yeah.
Probably dermaplaning. And I like to focus on the facial massage.
Okay.
Which I don't always do when I'm dermaplaning. So it's kind of like, it really depends on the person. Because it's like stimulating the skin, and with dermaplaning, you're exfoliating. So I don't like to overstimulate the skin after dermaplaning sometimes. So it really depends on the person.
Do you have a product line that you like to use the most or recommend to clients? Or is it kind of more so like consistency versus what the product is?
Both.
Okay.
I think I'm going to get crucified for this.
Go for it.
But I'm very open about this on my own page, my own aesthetics page. But I am not a diehard, and I will never die on the hill that you need medical grade skincare.
Okay.
I will never be that person. I think spending $100 on moisturizer is freaking absurd. I don't think it's necessary. I swear by less is more. And I feel like that's one of those trends that comes and goes. Like, some people are always like, oh, only do 2 things on your skin. But then, like, some new trend pops up and it's just like, add 76 steps to your skincare. And I'm like, oh my God, please stop. Your skin is not absorbing anything. It's not doing anything for you. You just dropped $500 on skincare products that are not doing anything because they're so confused on your face. Like, that's just not.
How long do you feel like your skin takes to get used to a product?
I would say at least 30 days, but I would always give like 60 days.
Okay.
In my opinion, when you're trying something new.
Okay.
A moisturizer, I think you can tell a little bit sooner because typically that's when you'll see like your fine lines start to diminish is when you're noticing your skin's more hydrated. But like if it's depends on what condition you're dealing with too. If you're dealing with acne, it's going to take longer because your skin needs to go through that whole process of like shedding and all these things, like renewing your skin cells, which is like 28 days or something. Okay. So minimum with like a cleanser or anything like that, exfoliation, if you've got a lot of clogging, a lot of blackheads, you're going to need, in my opinion, like 60 days.
60 days. Okay. That's a good gauge though. What do you think about this snail mucin that everybody's obsessed with on TikTok? I've fallen victim. I will give you a warning.
I saw it in the bathroom. Honestly, I haven't used it on myself enough to test it, so I can't really speak to it. All I know is that it's quite literally swept every internet.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Platform possible. And last year, I love my little brother's girlfriend to pieces. She's so sweet, and she got me a Christmas gift. And last year, she always gets me a Christmas gift, but last year she got me snail mucin.
Oh, so you were ahead of the game.
Apparently, okay, I didn't even know about this once she gives it to me because she's this trendy little gal. And she's like, oh my God, I got you this. And it's supposed to be the best thing ever and you're going to love it. And I used it and I did like it, but I never finished the bottle. I used it for probably like a few weeks. And then I have like my regular things that I just love. So I have a hard time spraying. Yeah. So, but I liked it when I used it.
See, it's definitely different because the texture's so weird. But I haven't used it for even 30 days yet, so I'll let you know because I got it for Christmas.
Okay.
I like it so far. I still don't understand what it's supposed to be doing, but everybody that's always like showing it on TikTok is like the most beautiful human in the world. And I know that's like the last thing I'm supposed to fall victim to, but it's not that expensive. And I was like, fuck it, we're trying.
So describe how it feels on your face for me.
It feels sticky going on.
Okay.
And then I definitely do feel like, I feel like not oily per se, but like I definitely feel like moisture after, like after a couple hours of it.
Do you use it at night or in the morning?
Usually at night, but every now and then I'll use it in the morning.
Okay.
I've been getting a lot of hydrofacials pre-wedding. So like my makeup artist was basically like, you need hydrofacials.
They're so good before weddings. They're so good.
Like just that kind of push. And then I have been doing a little IPL. And with that IPL, the esthetician that I went to, because she's one of the only people in Tampa that does IPL.
Yeah.
I've tried to convince Jaylan to do it. And she's like, that's not something I'm ready for.
It's not, because I would be such a perfectionist with it because I know the like effects that if you don't do it right.
Well, it's
how
so
terrible it will be.
And it's so weird getting it because the next day you quite literally, so like what happens is like they just like ground coffee like basically falls off your face. And I genuinely like see the spots coming off and they like fall off when you wash them. It's wild.
It is wild and it's great. And I love that it's offered. I just am like,
well, it's a niche service. So they do have a machine at Enduring Beauty in St. Pete. And I don't think there's very many people in the area that do it.
There's not.
It's very niche. So I went to Faith for that and she's been fantastic and she does the hydrofacial paired with it. So it's like a little bit less intense. But after that, she gave me, and you probably saw it in the bathroom, it was next to the snail mucin. It was like a hyaluronic acid or whatever.
Yeah.
I've been doing that because that's what her routine is after IPL. So like that I've been using twice a day, and then the snail mucin, and then just like my normal moisturizer and eye cream. But otherwise, that's it that I do. But I'm also a big sunscreen girl now.
You will. Yeah. Now.
I was never bad with sunscreen either on my face. Maybe my body a little more so, but I've always been good about my face.
Same. Always on my face, but like, I don't know. I forget. I like put it on my body once, and then I never put it back on.
I don't think about it unless you're going to the beach.
Well, yeah.
So like, why else would you?
Why would you do that?
No, there's some women now on TikTok that are so like dedicated to skincare. They're like lathering their body every day in sunscreen. It's like, that's also probably not good chemical wise for you.
It's not. So I need to look more into this because now I'm like, my wheels are spinning. There was a video that came out and it was basically saying, obviously not to believe the whole video, but it was basically saying how terrible sunscreen is for you because of the chemicals and how it's doing more harm than good. And I'm like, but like also skin cancer, so like not really. It's like this whole.
Well, but they're saying
really,
some of it can cause cancer.
Yes. So it's this
So
whole
you can't win.
really complex thing that I'm just like so ready to nerd out over.
So and then there's the balance of, okay, so then we could all just stay out of the sun, but you need like vitamin D. So what do you do?
No, because it's like, and do you remember when people were so on the skincare game that it was like, oh, you're walking to your garage, put on your SPF.
Oh, yeah. Well, I have a girlfriend that she wears a hat when she drives, like that protects her whole neck and face.
Yes.
And she has a driving glove. And I was like, me looking at it.
She has a driving glove?
Wow. Yeah, like for her arm. Just the left one.
Wow. The dedication.
I was like, no, ma'am.
No.
Could not be me. That's a lot of work every time you have to go somewhere.
Could not
but
be
I
me.
am very on the trend of starting to use more Asian and Pacific skincare.
They've got it figured out. They're living like 86 years ahead of us.
And it's like not expensive.
It's not expensive. That's my point. That like circles back to like my whole, you do not need to spend a lot of money on skincare. I will never, ever. If you have a cleanser that is working for you and helping you achieve the goals you want and it's $14, great. Continue to use it, please.
How do you feel about injections, fillers, Botox, stuff like that?
Not for me, but if you want to do it, do it.
So it's not something you want to pursue in
your
business.
I wouldn't, just because I don't. My thing with Botox is that, specifically Botox, is that, okay, you have very fine 11 lines. Mm-hmm. Easily Botox could fix it. But when the Botox, you have to keep up with it the second you start doing it. Because if you don't, now you've injected that Botox into that like wrinkle, mm-hmm. but like it's going to disappear. So now the wrinkle is deeper.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
So yeah, so if you don't continue with it, it almost does more harm than good.
So how do you feel about like for me? So my problem is my 11s, and then I just have a slight little bit up here, but not much. But it's really just my 11s, and I've gotten Botox twice now within the span of 2 years. Is it something that since I'm so young and it's not bad, do I need to be getting it like now because I've started? Do I need to be getting it every like?
When was the last time you got it?
Recently, because of the wedding. I got it in November, but before that, I got it like last December.
Okay, I mean,
because like more so, I feel like if you're young and you start early enough, then you could also do the whole thing where you're not going like every 6 weeks that other people do.
Exactly.
Versus like I go every year and it's like a once a year treat. We get our Botox.
And I think it helps too because like it's not like so people that smoke, huge change. It makes all of your wrinkles so much worse. And it dehydrates you. You stay pretty hydrated, I think, for the most part.
I just drink a lot of water.
So I think that's also a big helper. I think people don't realize that sometimes your wrinkles and your fine lines are not because you're old or because you have like a lot of expressions, but because you're dehydrated.
I feel like what needs to almost be like a requirement when you like work or if you do like Botox or something like that is you should have like a skincare regimen from a professional that also is like, hey, this is keeping you hydrated. And then, like, here's your hydration routine for actual drinking water. And, like, it's also a health thing, too. But it's funny because our friend Anna, she's going back to school so she can do injections. So maybe in your guys' future, you got a little side business together.
That would be so fun. Because a lot of people ask me. They're like, are you going to do it? I'm like, no.
Well, I was going to say, people are naturally going to ask you. So it'd be nice to have somebody that you could just work with that you're like, I don't do it, but that's Anna's thing and this is my thing.
Yes.
And then you can actually create plans that coincide with each other.
Exactly. Because you're never going to stop people from getting Botox. I can say whatever I want about it, but it's all personal. Am I going to shame anybody for getting it? No. I've thought about it many times for my 11s, mm-hmm. but I'm always squinting. Even with my glasses, I'm always squinting. So it's just like, what's the point at this point? And I think, so I used to be really self-conscious of my smile lines, and Reed actually, it was like one of the first, like I swear to God, one of the like first things he's ever said to me. When we were dating, I said something about my smile lines, and he was like, yeah, but it just means you're smiling a lot and you're very happy. Like, I don't know, like, how he worded it, but it was just, like, really sweet, and I was like,
if you're gonna have lines, you're gonna want them to be the happy ones, not the frowny ones.
Yes.
That's why I worry about my 11s, because I know I'm like...
I'm always scowling. I am always scowling, I'm always squinting.
That's my problem.
Please.
It's the attitude coming
It is. It's the like spicy attitude.
I don't notice smile lines on you though at all.
Well, maybe I must have been. I don't know.
No, but I'm saying like they're not definitely. It's we always see the worst in what we see ourselves.
Yes, and it used to be. So I used to also wear really heavy makeup though, and so they would crack. My makeup would crack, and that's when you would see them really terribly. But now that I, fast forward, now that I know what I'm doing with my skin and all these things, because that's what I went to aesthetic school for, was actually to be a certified makeup artist.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I ended up hating it.
Yeah.
I hated the makeup life. I hated it so much.
I feel like the majority of makeup life is going to have to be weddings because like there's not enough people in the world that are just getting their makeup done daily.
And I was not
like the wedding. Yeah, as a bride, I would not want to do other brides' makeup.
No,
I was picky as fuck. I'm lucky I
as you should be. As you should be. And that's my thing. I'm just like, nope.
Not for me.
Not for me. Not for me. No.
That's crazy. So do you feel like with that side of your business and then also like your health journey, do you feel like that plays a big role in your like esthetician business?
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge, because I'm like a very big believer that when I was super heavy into makeup and just fragrance, I don't use perfume anymore. I don't do a lot of added fragrance. I don't do candles. Like, I think a lot of, mainly the fragrance part and all of the ingredients that are in like foundations and stuff are just so bad for you. Mm-hmm. And I think because I was so heavy in that like niche for so long.
Is there a makeup brand that you love that's also a big brand name that you would always be like, no, I feel comfortable with that one? Because I feel like that's like people are always going to buy like brand names. So is there like one that's good? I'm a big, I don't know anything about the ingredients in it, but I'm a big Laura Mercier for my like foundations and stuff. But I don't know anything about what she actually has.
I don't know what her ingredients are like. I like, what is it called?
Tula has also come out with
Tula's good.
I'm a big advocate for Tula. I work with them regularly, and I have their foundations they just started doing, and they're like a BB cream, but they have sunscreen and they're tinted. Yeah. I love them.
I haven't tried them yet, but I was really excited when I saw they were coming out with those.
I have an extra one. I'll give it to you.
Sail. Okay. I think it's Sail or Silly or it's gray and purple. I don't know. They have a tinted foundation, like BB cream type thing, same thing, and I love it. And it's pretty clean ingredients. It is really hard, I will say, to find something makeup wise that's like all clean and perfection and not going to do anything to you. Because if it's clean, sometimes it'll have other ingredients that like will clog your pores. So it's like, yeah, it's good ingredients, but sometimes it's poor.
That's the hard part.
So it's like you gotta pick and choose. And if you spend your whole life trying to avoid something,
you'll be bubble boy.
You will quite literally be bubble boy, and it'll be miserable for everything. So I just like pick and choose. Like, I don't do candles anymore. I don't do perfume anymore. That's good enough for me right now. Like,
see, and we're on the track of we've started all natural detergent, and then
that's something I started like right away, and then my household cleaner.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and our cleaning supplies are all natural, but I struggle with the candle thing, as you know.
Yes, you do.
I love a candle.
It's fine.
It's the ambiance. It's the smell. It's the crackle of the wick.
The crackle of the wick.
The crackle of the wick.
The only time I like miss the coziness of a candle is at Christmas.
Okay.
December's the only month that I truly like miss and not even the smell. I just miss like the warmth that in my brain.
Like a glow.
Yeah, I don't know. But my diffusers glow in like a warm light, and I love it except for in December. I'm like, so I put a wreath over it, and I'm like, okay.
See, diffusers just don't do it for me.
But they're so good.
I just love a candle.
I know you do. I know.
That'll be something I can't get rid of. But
again, you pick and choose. Yeah. Like you're not going to get rid of everything, and that's okay. I think people get so hyper fixated on like. So I was really scared to start to share a lot of. So I used to have a YouTube channel. I still have a YouTube channel, but I have not used it in quite a while. But it was all makeup. Okay. I did tutorials, reviews, all these things. When I got diagnosed, I stopped. Okay. And I switched to like lifestyle vlogs, all these things. And when new makeup comes out, I still get excited. I love ColourPop. That's a really good brand that I really love. Really? Their ingredients are pretty simple for the most part, but I really love them. And I've always loved them. So when like new products shop, I'm still like, oh my God, I want it. but then I get nervous and I'm going to get crucified for, like, you know, you always get somebody.
Yeah, somebody always has something to say.
And so I had a really hard time, like, getting back into it. And I think that's why I never went back to my, like, makeup videos, because I was too scared.
See, you can't be scared if you're online. On the regular, somebody's mad at me on TikTok. Right now, everybody's mad at me, like, and calling me an ungrateful bitch because I wanted a gold ring instead of a silver ring from Kyle. People are, like, irate. And I think the last week has just been people calling me an ungrateful bitch. Like, you can't. I honestly laugh. Sometimes I comment back. Sometimes I get a little sassy, and I should probably not, because I get in little, like, comment wars.
No, you should.
I think it's funny. Like, and nothing is more funny than, like, somebody calling you an ungrateful bitch, and then you calling them a Karen, just, like, nothing else. Just, like, okay, Karen. And they get so mad.
They get so mad. But I also think I was so much more, like, I cared way too much more. I honestly, this is going to sound so fucked up. Cancer was probably the best thing that's ever happened to me, because I would just walk around bald.
And you were, like,
confident. And I did not give a shit.
You just had confidence.
Yes, but I think I didn't. What else was I gonna do?
Like, yes, you have no choice.
Like, I didn't have a choice but to walk around bald. It was hot. It's Florida. It's too hot for a wig.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Was it, like, mainly summer when you were doing chemo?
It was July. Like, I got my official diagnosis in, like, March, and then I started my first treatment in April.
Oh, crap.
And it was game over at that point.
Yeah, you can't win after that.
No, I was not wigs. I tried head wraps. No, forget that shit. They were just as hot. Mm-hmm. So, and it allowed me to, like, not have control of everything. Because I was I needed to control. I needed to make sure people liked me. I needed to make sure that people were giving me the energy I was giving them. And it was just, like, cancer showed me who I can trust with that I don't need to control things. And that who the fuck cares if you have hair or not.
Hair or not.
I date things in my life now. I'm like, was that pre or post bald? Like,
pre or post bald?
Yeah, it's really terrible. So, yeah, like, no, not happy. I had to, like, go through the chemo and the surgeries and all the things, but it's just, like, probably, like, helped me grow as an adult way more. I think had it been a few years later with the whole makeup thing and the scared of online, I would be totally different. Like, I wouldn't have given a shit.
Well, I think there's just, like, an aging perspective, too. Completely, like, a hair thing, but completely different, and, like, not devaluing the fact that you had cancer and you were bald.
Yeah.
But I am considering a big chop after a wedding. And everybody keeps telling me, no, you've got such great hair. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, but what's worst case scenario? Like, if you had said that to, like, 22-year-old Gabi, she would have been like, you're right, security blanket. But, like, I've been wanting to do it. It looks so cute. It's a trend right now. Everybody's doing it. And I'm like, worst case scenario, what happens? I don't like it. I do some clip-in extensions until it grows out. And then I have hair again. It's just fucking hair.
Literally.
It's just hair. But people are, like, up in arms when I mention it. They're like, how could you do that? And I'm
because I think people just, and I don't know.
I feel like we could do a whole episode of trauma tied to hair.
Yes.
Because, like, I feel like hair has trauma.
Yes.
Well, that's why every girl all of a sudden wants to, like, cut their hair when they're going through a breakup.
Yeah.
Like, I see people's, like, Instagrams and TikToks and stuff like that, and they'll have just cut their hair in people's comment sections, like, oh, did you just go through a breakup? Like,
every time. Or, like, you dye it, like, an absurd color, and it's just like, oh my god, what happened to you?
And it can't just be hair.
No, you can't just do it. Like, I don't know.
When I dyed my hair red, it was around the time that Kyle left for Iraq, and people thought I was doing it because I missed Kyle. And I was like, no, I just wanted red hair.
Literally. It was so when I dyed mine, I did mine, like, a rose gold color, and they were like, I chopped it and did a rose gold, and they were like, what's going on? Do you hate Florida? Because I just moved down here. And I'm like, no, I just thought it would be fun.
Like, it's just hair.
Like, it's a trend. Everyone has rose gold hair. Do you see it? Scroll.
It's just a thing. Or, like, the copper cowboy that everybody's obsessed with right now. And I'm like, can we please stop giving, like, hair colors names? Can it just be red?
Yeah.
It's just red hair. My hairstylist actually yesterday, I got my hair done yesterday. It's way blonder. But my hairdresser was sitting there yesterday and she's like, I'm sick and tired of people coming in and being like, I want the wolf cut. And she's like, you mean you want long layers? Like,
yeah.
Like, why are we giving them
Someone just told me that I needed to do a wolf cut the other day, and I was like, what the hell's a wolf cut?
It's just long layers.
What? So I had to look it up, and I was like, oh yeah, it's cute, but what? I'm confused.
It's basically all the 90s layers are coming back, which is great, but, like, they're giving them names, and then you've got
weird names.
Yeah. Well, and, like, that, so you've got cowboy copper, but then there's, like, apparently, like, another one that's something chocolate, but it's just fucking brown. It's just brown. I'm like, what are we calling it that? I'm at a loss.
So, like,
this is blonde. At one point it was red. This is brown. There you go.
At one point it wasn't there. So, like,
at one point it was bald.
It's just like, I don't know. You know what I was really pissed off about? When my hair grew back, it didn't come in curly.
It didn't? And did it used to be curly?
No, but that's like a thing. It's called chemo curls.
Oh, really?
You're supposed to. It's like a rite of passage for having cancer. You're supposed to get curly hair after.
I already have curly hair.
I didn't. It came back just really thick and coarse and like a horsetail, and now it's kind of normaling itself out.
Was it coarse?
It was like a chia pet. Oh, it was like fuzzy. It was really weird.
Oh no.
It was really, really, really strange.
See, I think that's what would stress me out. It's not other people, but it'd be like the own texture of my hair would bother me.
It was annoying.
Yeah, I wouldn't love that. I don't like when she's bleached it. You can feel it right now. It's a little dry. It's not normally this dry.
It's not normally that dry.
No, it's because she just bleached it. Give it like 4 or 5 days. It'll even out. Hello, we have a busy hair. Blue. I think that's Blue's way of telling us that it's time for her
done
to be done. Like, that's enough, ladies. You've chatted long enough on the internet. But yeah, I mean, I guess that leaves us with, I'll put her Instagram esthetician one in there.
Yeah.
So that people can find you if you're looking for skincare in the Tampa, St. Pete, Palm Harbor area.
Yes.
Because she's kind of out in Palm Harbor.
Yep.
And then I will put, Blue is checking out our Complx glass as we speak because there's lemon in it and she just had to sniff it. I will put Complx in the handle as well.
Yes.
And if you have any questions about, like cancer.
Anything we've talked about, really, we've jumped a lot.
You can ask her about it. Just
ask me because you don't know what you don't know, and I feel like there's not enough people talking about like what it's like to really go through cancer. I shouldn't say this yet because it's really gonna hold me accountable. My whole goal when I got diagnosed was I wanted to write a book about every single experience like that happened and like the whole journey in like a very real sense.
Okay.
Because like you have chicken soup for the breast cancer girl or whatever the hell it's called, but like I didn't actually read it, so maybe it's really good. But like that just is stupid to me. Like,
I also feel like there's none with the perspective of somebody that had it in their 20s.
Exactly. Like that doesn't exist. Like I search high and low, I'm a big book girl. Like self-help books, journals, like all of it doesn't exist for like what I was going through specifically. So,
well, I think
one day
also,
that book will exist.
Well, I think also maybe it might be helpful in that sense to have some. It's hard. We shouldn't have to ask you guys to be. As 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, however old you are, younger, you have to self-advocate in these situations because they're not going to think anything's wrong with you because you're so young.
Nope.
So, like, almost a guide on people on how to self-advocate better. Like, I hate that we have to tell people to advocate for themselves, but, like, that's where we're at.
You have to advocate for yourself. So, yeah, reach out. I'm always an open book.
Ask her for advocating.
That's how we bonded.
Yeah, it literally was. Ask her, though, for advocating tips because I clearly don't know how to advocate. I haven't figured that one out yet.
We're working on it.
I'm still that person that like I could be sitting in a massage and if they're hurting me, I'm like, the pressure's great.
No,
I know it's so bad. I don't know if I told you this one last tangent before we shut down. When I was on my bachelorette trip in Portugal, some of the girls got me a massage on the beach and this Thai woman decided to massage me. And I've never experienced anything like it. They walked by and like looked at me and this Thai woman, I was sitting upright and she had like one leg over my arm this way and then like my head in a headlock and she was doing all this weird twisty thing. Never felt anything like it. Most painful experience. I even like for me, like to even say anything at all, I was like, ow. And that was like hard for me to have to say, but I was in that much pain that I was like, I need this to end. But I've never had a massage like that. This little Thai woman on the beach wrecked my shit.
Wow.
She was strong for such a little lady.
They are.
I don't know how they do it. She puts her full body weight into that shit. I was like, I'm never going to feel the same after that.
You'll never feel the same. And you'll never have that experience again.
I will never go to a Thai lady on the beach. No. You're correct. You are correct. And with that, I am going to end this episode. Thank you so much, Jaylan, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Next week I will be back. I will be married next week, which is wild. And then, so the next episode I'll be a married woman, and I've got another fantastic guest coming on to talk about all things health and wellness with a twist. So we will see you soon.
Fabulous.
Bye.